and thanks for joining us for Signatures with Maria. And we have another special guest today, Victor with Vicinity Tours. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, Victor, tell us all about what your tours are about and who do you actually tour?
Well, Vicinity Tours, we actually are a complete tour company covering Columbus, Georgia, and Phoenix City, Alabama.
Okay.
And so we have 9 different themes that you can choose from.
9?
That's right.
Okay.
And everything from historic to food tours, general interest.
I want to hear more about that food tour later. Go ahead.
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely. Actually, even among the food tours, you've got three tours to choose from. So
okay,
so,
all right. So
it's geared for visitors, but also locals. And so many folks that say, "Well, I'm local, and I know a lot about it," and that's fine. But taking a tour, and folks who have taken my tour that were local, they've many times have said, "Oh, I didn't know that," and so
because there's always a lot of things in your city that you take for granted. Or you really don't know what you don't know until you have a tour guide that shows it to you, right? Okay, so you're always learning something. I know I did, so go ahead.
So if we're offering it daily. That's another reason why we're a complete tour company. It can be Monday through Saturday. We do have Sunday options with particularly our Native American tour that's on the Alabama side in Russell County.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so those are flexible hours, being able to work around your schedule as well.
Okay.
And basically the easiest way I tell folks is even hours, 10 a.m., noon, 2 p.m., 4 p.m.
So no 30s.
So yeah, no 30s. Unless something we just have to kind of work around, that someone else is trying to work in. But for the most part, we've not had that issue.
Okay, so on every even number. So tell me really quickly, what has been the most common response when someone completes a tour with Vicinity Tours?
They're very appreciative. They say it's very informative.
Okay.
They didn't realize how much history the area has.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing. Is that they hear about it or they see the pictures and they see the images, but they always view it as not necessarily modern, but they have a mix of the old and the new. But that everything seemed perhaps wasn't as far back as they really
thought. Okay. All right, so how old do you have to be to take a tour?
Well, we have tours for all ages.
Really? Like children could take a tour?
Sure.
With their parents, of course, or with supervision?
Yes, absolutely.
What kinds of tours would you have for a child?
Well, I mean, the children are always inquisitive, and they always want to learn, and so we would be able to gear the tour towards age level. And
okay.
So, there'll be the ways that we'll express it or the way that we would share it,
so you alter that.
Like that. Yes.
It's kind of the same tours, but you alter the way you present it.
That's right.
Okay.
And the other thing about it's knowing that you have different age levels, that you do have an option of either taking the full tour, which is up to 2 hours, or you can take a 1-hour version. And so for those who maybe have children that don't have quite a high
tolerance level, yes, right.
And you want to get in there, get the little experience, and step back out. You can do that. You can do 1 hour.
I love this because that means you can take an abbreviated tour, or if you just really don't have 2 hours to spare.
That's right.
Then you can take the abbreviated tour and not really miss a lot.
That's right, because we would still hit the high points.
The high points.
Not the other parts are not, but you just have to have the weeding
high
process.
And low, right. You can just do more detail.
That's right.
When you do the 2 hours. Okay, so let's talk about the types of tours. So I know last month we were talking about a Christmas tour that happens in December, and then, just talk about that. Different ones throughout the year.
Well, we have different themes. It's depending outside of the regular ones.
Okay.
The 9 themes that we have are just available by you calling.
Okay, so name some of those for us. So Columbus, Phoenix City.
Yeah, we've got the downtown tour. We've got the Arts and Antebellum tour.
Arts? Okay,
yes. So,
all right.
Focusing on the local galleries that a lot of people
Nice.
overlook.
Nice.
And those local galleries feature local artists.
Now that's
And
nice.
so that way, it's they're able to get a flavor of, if I can use the term flavor,
That's good.
of what the art scene is like here.
Correct.
And we have different range. I mean, everything from fine art to folk art and in between. And so they're able to do that in between. And among that, we'll be able to see the antebellum homes too. And this is featured in the Midtown area, which a lot of people do overlook because they kind of tend to hover around the downtown area. But they see that there's a lot that, even though Columbus started in 1828, that didn't mean that everything else was still deserted. There were still places outside of the city limits that carried its own history as well.
Right. Okay. So talk to me about, so for Phoenix City and Columbus, you talked about family reunions, and this is a family show. So if I wanted to have my family reunion here in this area, how would that relate to your tours?
Well, one of the great things that Vicinity Tour offers is opportunity for family reunions we work with them and being able to include a tour as part of their itinerary. We're able to, if they're willing to work with us to plan ahead,
Okay.
then we can work with them on setting up the itinerary so that everything can run smoothly.
So what kind of leeway time would a family need if they were interested in doing their family reunion with Vicinity Tours?
Well, to be honest with you, I've had family reunions planned a week in advance,
But clearly you would prefer a little more time than that.
to get a to avoid any potential snags, especially on the scheduling part
Okay.
of it, I would say at least a month.
Okay.
I would say a month is a good,
But
notice on that.
ideally 2 or 3 months in advance would be
Sure.
much
I mean, like
better.
right now, I mean, if you've got a spring family reunion or summer, now's the time. And maybe it's not so much for planning, but to book that time.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
what happens is almost feast and famine. Everyone's wanting to do their family reunion at that same time.
At the same time.
And so I'd hate for you to get missed out because someone booked ahead of you.
Correct.
As
Correct.
opposed to, just to not
Well,
the
I
planning
got
and
to
such.
tell you, Victor, I wouldn't have thought originally about booking a family reunion to learn more about the city or the area that I live in. But the fact that I don't know fully about Phoenix City or Columbus, that might be interesting even for the person that lives in the area, because now you're talking about learning the history and there's so much rich history here.
That's right.
I remember when I went on one of your tours, I remember thinking, I didn't know that this place was known for this, or I didn't know that the place was known for that. So
That's right.
that's a really interesting idea. So how would you do that if I have a family reunion of, say, 75 people? How are we going to travel around? How would you do that?
Well, we have shuttles that seat up to 55.
Okay.
And when you have parties of 70, not all of them would really want to participate in the tours.
That's true.
And so that's part of the planning too.
Oh,
to
right.
say, hey, we've got the 55. There also could be the opportunity of having multiple tours, so
At the same-
to be able to work,
And they could run
alongside.
simultaneously.
Well, or back to back.
Back to
for
back.
some of them, may work better, at a different time frame than the other.
Okay. And handicap accessibility, how would that work for you?
Well, our shuttles are accessible.
Okay.
For the larger ones.
Okay,
and,
good.
And such, but the smaller vans, we're not quite there yet on that.
Okay, but that's
But
okay.
we're in the process of
And
that.
so you and your family actually own the business, correct?
Well, it's just me to be
Okay.
able to own it.
All
and
right,
so-
that's awesome. So what in the world would make you think, I want to start a business like that?
Well, there's nothing like this. in the
Well,
area.
that was smart. So if I want to tour either city, Phoenix City or Columbus, the only tour guide I have is Vicinity Tours.
you won't go wrong.
I won't go wrong. Well, thank you so much for that. Is there any last things you would like us to know specifically about Vicinity Tours?
Well, this basically, the scheduling is based on first come, first serve, as far as we don't have we do this tour on this specific time. It's
Okay.
whatever you call and you request. If we've got that time available, that's the tour that
We
we'll-
book
that
that
we'll
time.
do.
Okay, and so I love this because if myself and my two kids wanted to go and tour the area that we live in, you could take us around the cities and give us the history of where I live, correct?
That's right.
Businesses and what have you, because sometimes you move to an area like I did and I don't even know what's available to me here.
Well, and even more so, I can make it more convenient for you that you can book me to ride with you and be able to be in the vehicle.
So if there's more of us and I have a van, it makes sense for you to just ride with us.
And it'd be more affordable for you too. I say more affordable. I'm talking about more economic.
Absolutely.
That should be the phrase that I should have
But
used.
that's okay. That's okay. But that makes sense. I really like the idea. I could take a tour bus. I could ride with you, or you could ride with me, depending on if I have car seats and things that I need because I have kids. Because the whole idea is to take a family tour. So that's really good. Well, I appreciate that.
And in the springtime, we can do the walking tour. And of course,
you do walking tours as well. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Victor.
Right,
oh my goodness. Thank you for coming on and explaining to us how I could learn more about my city, Phoenix City, Alabama, or the neighboring cities of Columbus, Georgia. Thank you so much for taking the time today to let us know that this is an important, because of the information and the education that you provide when you give the tours. We appreciate that. All right, thank you so much. And this was Signatures with Maria. Welcome to another episode of Kids for Christ. We have a special guest today, Devondria Williams. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
How are you today?
Good.
Boy, you got those quick, short answers, don't you? So, how does it feel to be on television for the first time?
Exciting.
Exciting? And how old are you?
10.
You're 10. That means you're in what grade?
5th.
And what kinds of things do you do?
Math, science, social studies, reading, language, and grammar.
Do you like school?
Yes.
You sure you like school?
Yes.
Okay. I also heard from your mother that you like to do some, I don't know, gymnastic type tumbles and things. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where'd you learn that from?
I'm self-taught.
You were what?
Self-taught.
Is that right? So one day you just woke up one morning and said, I just want to do some tumbling things.
Yeah.
And you taught yourself how to do it. So where'd you see it before?
I looked it up on YouTube and found like my favorite gymnasts and contortioners and copy from them.
Okay. Did you come prepared today to show me what you can do?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, she put me on the spot. I'm not going to put you on the spot. Actually, I wanted to ask you, what do you know about God? Just tell me, what do you know about God? Tell me what you know.
He gave his only begotten son for us.
Say that again for me.
He gave his only begotten son for us.
Did he? Are you sure? Where is God? Where's that? You gotta talk.
In heaven.
In heaven? So, what's his son's name? What is his son's name?
Jesus.
And where's Jesus?
In heaven.
Is that the only place he would be?
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere, you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just trying to find out, because you know what I'm saying is I want to know what you know. So what do you know about heaven?
That's where people who passed away go.
Really? That's a very grown-up word, passed away. What do you mean by that?
They're not on this planet anymore.
They're not on this planet, so they're on planet heaven. Okay. So, are you saved?
Yeah.
When you decided to ask Christ into your life, what kinds of changes happened in your life for you? Yeah, think about that one.
Kind of changes?
Yeah. What changed for you? What did you notice a difference between how you were before Christ and how you were after you received Christ? Did you notice any changes? You
I've gotten better at school.
Huh?
I've gotten better at school.
You did. So see, that's a change. You saw a positive change, right? Have you seen any changes in other people?
They've gotten better at school.
So do you ever talk to the kids at school about Jesus?
Yes.
What kinds of things do you tell them?
I tell them they have to believe in him.
Oh. Why do you think you should believe in Jesus? Just out of curiosity.
Because if you don't believe in him, then you won't go with him.
You won't go with him.
You'll go somewhere else.
Oh. Is it somewhere else, someplace I want to go?
No.
So let me get this straight. So Jesus is God's son, and God gave his only son, and he gave his only son for who?
Us.
Us. Okay. So based on everything you said, and based on that idea, if I ask Jesus into my heart, then I'll have some positive changes, correct?
Yes.
Or I might go to another place if I don't have Jesus.
Yes.
A place that I don't want to go.
Yes.
Where's that place? Down. Okay.
I don't want to say its name.
Do you think it's wrong to say that word?
Sometimes.
Okay. Depending on how you mean it, probably,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay, so tell me an instance in your life where you know that it was Jesus or God that helped your family situation get better. Think about that. Or a situation that helped you get better when you were in school, where you know that it must have been God that intervened and made things better for you. Can you think of a time like that? If not, it's okay.
I do, but there's too many.
There's too many. So he is always working for you, huh?
Mostly because he's really nice.
Because he's really nice.
And sweet and caring and thoughtful.
Ah, he's caring and he's thoughtful. Okay, so you think he's in love with you, maybe?
He's in love with everybody.
Ah, boy. Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Even the bad people? Even the bad people. What do you do for people when they're not so nice? How do you respond to them?
I pray for them.
You do? What do you think prayer does?
Help.
I think so too. I think you're right about that. I think praying is the right thing to do. Because sometimes people act pretty crazy, don't they? Yeah, and it kind of throws you off sometimes. Like, did they really just do that? That's so not nice. So let me just tell you, when I'm at work sometimes, I'm praying a lot. I'm praying a lot because it really messes me up. So let me ask you this. So if something happened and you felt not so good about it, and you realized that somebody was without Jesus, I want you to look at the camera and tell the people what you would say or do to that person to help them know about the Jesus that you know about that loves everybody. Just think of what would you say? What's some advice you would give someone, maybe another student at your school, about the Jesus that you know?
I teach them how to pray.
Okay. You would just teach them how to pray?
I teach them how to pray. I teach them a lot about Jesus and God, about the Holy Bible, and Mary and Eve, Adam and Eve, Mary and Joseph.
Okay. I like that. I actually like that. What do you believe about how the world began? Do you know anything about how everything got started?
He created Adam and Eve.
He did? Okay. And I heard they were in some garden. Do you know anything about that garden? What's the name of that garden?
I know about it, but I forgot the name.
Okay. Maybe the Garden of Eden? Does that
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds about right. It's like, yeah, I remember now. Okay. And what was one of the first Bible scriptures that you learned? Do you know any scriptures at all?
For God so he loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son.
That's it?
To forgive our sins.
Okay. Do you know where it's found? Don't look at her. Look at me. Don't look at her. Are you looking for some help over there? Yeah, it's okay. So let's try this together. For God so loved the world that he gave his only. You're not talking with me.
Oh, you got
I thought we were doing this together. You're leaving me out here by myself. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. For God so loved the world, they gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Yeah.
John 3:16.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Well, guess what? Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We really had fun, even if we learned the scripture together. And do you promise that one day maybe you'll come back?
I'm positive.
You're positive. Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for sharing with us today. And if you're going to come back, then I'm going to be looking for you. Thanks so much for another episode of Kids for Christ.